Alright, we're going to do a little work to the infraction today. I want to get the spool out of there and put the limited center diff back in it. This is the factory center diff that goes in it. And I put a spool in it. The spool I took out of that infraction when I put in the EMP motor mount and center spool in that thing. So I took that spool out and stuck it in the infraction. I also got my other limitless all back together, so it's ready to go back out. But I want to do a gear change because this one keeps overheating, and every time I hit the trigger it spins out, so which makes it not fun. I do have 8S cat pack in there. I can run this on 8S because I've got a Max 6 in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this thing apart and do a gear change. I do have the big fans on it, so it's got to be the gearing. So I'm gonna drop the gearing down to try to get this thing to run a little bit better so that I can play with it longer. Keep shutting down. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna go into the hobby wing. For some reason, that hobby wing, it loves to shut down the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a gear swap, put the spool back in it, and let's see how it comes out. See you guys in a minute, as soon as I start taking this thing apart. Alright, I went ahead and cut the zip ties off the ripple killer to move this out of my way. Went ahead and backed off the two motor mount bolts and the brace bolt just to make things a little quicker. Just flip that thing up, flip my fans out of the way. Now I'm kind of curious to see what gear I stuck in here. I'm sure I got a ton of Loctite. Wow, that thing is magnetized. Must be an Arrma gear because it's not marked. So let's count it. I always put a line so I know where I start. So I'll start on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 6, 20, 27 tooth? God, that seems like a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which is way too tall. Now I know why it's overheating. So I'm gonna have to find another pinion. I gotta find my pinion box, but I'll get that swapped out. Yeah, I'll have to grab those, but let's continue on and get this spool taken out of here. And I'm going to check the drive shaft pins. I did, here's my kit to go ahead and swap the drive shaft pins to hardened steel pins. I have showed this in previous videos, this tool which will replace these dog bone pins. If I'm getting excessive wear, which I doubt I am because I haven't run this thing that much, if I'm getting the wear on the cups, then I'll swap those pins out. But this should just pick up. It's a little tight. Gotta find the right spot. Let me take a look at these dog bones. See, it's starting to get a little flat spot. Oh yeah, on that edge right there, on the cup leading to the diff. And I'm getting some wear on this bearing in here. A lot of grit, a lot of sand in there is what I feel. The back one is getting wear right there. You can tell because it's not a circle. This one's getting it right here, getting a flat spot there and a flat spot there. This side's real bad on this side right there. Must be the drive because this side's okay. But yeah, let's take a look at those because they do wear, and they wear those cups. So I actually have the cups somewhere. Where are the cups? Here we go. See, the input shaft cups, they're the same. So I carry the cups and carry the mounts, and then I carry the pins to change those out before it ruins, before it slips and twists these drive shafts. I do have another set of drive shafts as well. But yeah, here is the spool. And the funny part is, this one's got play. See that? It's like this cup is loose. Let's take a look. Yep, that cup was loose. And that'll also cause wear on the shafts. It'll cause the shafts to break. This is an EMP shaft, and I've sheared it because I had a drive shaft flip because of the pin, and then it locked up and sheared. This is a titanium shaft. It literally sheared that shaft. So I have two motor mount setups from EMP. I was gonna put an EMP mount in this, but I want to see both of the, well, this one's got an EMP mount, this one's still stock, so I want to see how long the stock one goes for. I'm gonna get this cleaned out because there's a lot of sanding grit in here where the bearing rides. Look at all that. A lot of nastiness in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the spool put back in. All the leaf blowers gone, all the gardeners everywhere. Get this gear lined up. Now I do have Loctite on these already, so I'm hoping it'll hold without having to re-Loctite it. Checking and double checking that mesh. You got to stick these bolts in first. Well, the inner one first. You don't have to stick this outer one in, because that top plate gets in the way. This top plate literally will get in the way of the bolt. And then this thing will slip down in there. Now I know why it was overheating so bad. You can't bash with that gear ratio in there. I think I set it up for a speed run. I set it up for a speed run and ended up starting to bash it. That's it. I should put heat shrink on these right here. There is a nut on the other side, so I put my finger on the other side so I don't push it out. And that's all there is to it, guys. So I'm going to get this zip tied back up in there. Get these wires cleaned up a little bit. Get my cap zip tied back in there. Grab some zip ties. and then we'll see how it runs. But that's how you swap out the spool for your center diff. So use this for speed runs. I was going to try to use it for bashing, but I'd have to change this gear, slide this thing all apart. 8mm. You can go ahead and use a spur gear or a pinion gear as a spur. You just take out that center, slide your cup and your bearing off. This will slide off. 8mm. Throw a bigger one on here. So I'm gonna order up a bigger one, see if I can get maybe a 47 or even a 40, because 34 is just too small for a basher. So I'm gonna get this thing zip tied up, get some batteries in it, and let's take it outside and run it and see if it's still overheating. All right. Alright, out here with the Limitless, went ahead and put the center diff back in, changed up the gearing. Want to see if it overheats. I do have it on 8S. This is on a Max 6 with a stock BLX motor. The truck used to spin out a lot. I couldn't get it going straight with the spool, and now I can actually get it going straight, and I can spin. So the center diff is definitely much better. I do have fans on the motor, 2 hoodie fans. They flow a lot. Trying to get it going straight. Got all this junk in the road. Last time one of those got in my Hobio and stripped the belt. But I want to be able to road race it or race it. And drift it. But it was shutting off all the time. This thing is fast. Watch this thing do a burnout. See if we can launch this thing. I can't even get it past half. That was 3/4. 3/4 little burst. Watch. I was tapping full throttle. These cars sneak up. I don't see them because they creep in. Definitely more run time. Yeah, trying to keep these things straight really takes some trigger control. Especially on 8S. Let me feel this motor. See how this motor's doing. It is on the other side. Motor definitely is warm. And this one's got the chassis protector on it, as you see. There's those things again. But the chassis protector is pretty cool. As you see, I take care of my infraction. Yeah, the back tire is getting pretty low. I do rotate them, but it hasn't shut down. So, I mean, the plan is to eventually get a motor in this, but I wanted to see how long I can run on this BLX. Do some cool downs. Give this motor a chance to cool down a little bit, but this is definitely a lot longer run time than I'm used to. And on 6S will probably be even better. Heating the brakes all the time also heats these things up, so you got to be aware of that. Coming in, slamming on the brakes, really heats up the motor as well. I'll probably drop it down from the 27's, probably still a little tall. So I'll probably bring it down to maybe a 22. I think might be good. Maybe even a 17. But the speed's ridiculous. Out here stunting. Get that drift just right. Got to have a really fast steering servo in here too. But there she is, guys. My Limitless back on the road. I need to change the sticker from 6S to 8S because it still has the 6S sticker on it. And I do have another one of these bodies. I bought a body, but it didn't have a cage on it. I guess it's just a replacement body. But I need to get a cage ordered up for that one. And there we go. We fixed the problem by putting the differential back in it and gearing it back down.